So the idea of this project is that it's a public-private partnership. That means we work with the county in order to educate, in order to stay safe and clean. We have a community member on the advisory board. So remember, this is a not-for-profit. This is every bit of the finances is 100% transparent. Every bit of the choices that we make to sell the product, store the product, is managed by that advisory board and board. It is it's 100% transparent. And this is how you, as a community, can help run what is happening in your community. There's nothing that's hidden. And it's kind of straightforward and easy, so it's not like there's any magic to it, but everyone's involved, and it's transparent. The facility doesn't grow until there's enough demand for it to grow. So it's modular. The guts that we put in that building, there's the guts and then there's the tube, and you just add another tube onto the guts each time. If you have more demand, that means that the finances should be there to help the bank look at the project and say, okay, it warrants buying another tube to house more organics waste. Next slide, please. All right, so just comparing the three different types of places we can put organics waste. We all know what happens in a landfill. It's in a landfill. We've covered it. A composting facility is more open air. You have more opportunity for smell. You have more opportunity for flies. You have more opportunity for vermin. You have more opportunity for runoff. But it works and it's cheap. It does work. And managed well, it can work. There's just a lot more management that has to go on, and there's a lot more opportunity for what we call in this industry vectors: flies, rats, and smells. In a digester, everything's sealed. It's completely safe. It's ridiculously expensive. But we produce methane that you sell, and that helps support the cost of building the digester or the bank net. This isn't something I'm asking the community to pay for. This is something the not-for-profit pays for. What I'm asking for the community to do is partner with me such that we can educate children and we can do the PR. And that if you're housed in this community, if this community is housing this digester, we're working together. This community pays half of what anyone else would ever pay to bring anything to the digester because you're the host community. That's the benefit. You don't, I mean, I could go anywhere else and just buy the land and do this, but it doesn't, that's not the way that makes it work for the long term. When you have a community buy-in where the children are going home and educating the parents, the grandchildren are going home and educating the grandparents, it works for the long term. And that 30% of what you're currently sending to the landfill, or that's comprising the landfill, that organics waste, starts being 27%, 25%. And in about 10 years, you get to about 20% of that, or you get down to about 10%. We've got to be realistic. Every single city, I've looked at all of their marks. You don't move the needle 100%, but you can significantly reduce how much is going to the landfill when you educate. Next slide, please. So this is what the digester tube, I'll call it, looks like. Just enclosed, and it's, I mean, to me it looks like, what is it, like a Vitamix or like the Coop? It's like a big blender. It's completely sealed, and it's, it doesn't require much maintenance at all. I've worked at a lot of different facilities now, and some that have really great design, some things you pull a little bit from one and a little bit from the other, and combined we would make something that's smart for this community. But 21 days from start to finish. Next slide, please. Here's a great, simple diagram. The organics comes in separate, source separated is what we'll call it. So let's say we're at an MTSU game, and there's some stuff that kind of has to go in the recyclable bin, and some goes in the organics bin, and everyone's going to do their best to separate it correctly, but we know it never happens perfectly. So it gets to the facility, and we're going to separate it again. It then goes into the hopper, effectively, where it's in the paddle agitator. It's going to get smushed up a whole lot more, kind of made into more like a meal, and put into the digester. 21 days from start to finish, We're gonna off-gas all that methane and capture it. The liquid and solid come out the other side, separate it out, and it's sold. The facility that we visited in California, their trucks that collected the waste ran on the energy, on the compressed natural gas that was produced from the digester. Totally easy to do. We can do that. We can just sell the gas completely. There's a bunch of different options. Those decisions don't have to be made now, or they can be mandated now by the government if they wanted to. One of the most cost-effective ways to deal with the gas is to put it back into the pipeline. So when you're situated by an interstate pipeline, that gas is cleaned to pipeline spec, it's sold. Here it would be to Duke Energy. Yes, sir.
In the circumstances you just mentioned, could that be transferred to something like the local gas companies?
Exactly.
Let's say like Atlas or whatever those.
Yeah, so the question is, could it be transferred to the local gas companies?
Well,
Yes.
the company itself is not necessarily local, but they operate here locally.
They operate locally, and the way they handle it is they all pull gas from an interstate pipeline. We put the gas into the pipeline, which is like the big, it's like, to me, it's like the internet, it's like out there for everybody.
Are you getting a reduced rate on the gas?
Yeah, you could possibly get a reduced rate on gas, but the other thing that follows it is the RINs, the Renewable Identification Number, and that is like an offset, like a carbon offset that they can use as well. So it's, there's a lot of different opportunities for financial packages that way. I think one of the best, because the way the bank is going to see it, the bank is going to want to see that there's contracts for that gas. Is their bank's going to need to see a certain.
Well, that's it's already shown by what the local consumption is.
Yeah, you can look at the local consumption. They're going to want to know what the exact rate is coming in because that is paying the bank note every month. Yeah, and that's completely an option. And the other real benefit to the community, as I discussed before, is if you have a facility like this in your community, you're the host. You get to control it a whole lot more than if it's in Williamson County or Wilson County or Davidson County. And you have clean, safe, enclosed processing on a really small footprint.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Consider me ignorant from the very beginning, but what kind of waste materials are you talking about and how do you collect them?
Oh, it's a great question. Yeah, so waste materials, this is going to be food waste. Think also universities, cardboard pizza boxes that have pepperoni oil all over them. That's not cardboard that you can recycle anymore. That's organics waste. Cut flowers, from all the different restaurants, all the plate scrapings, all the stock pot stuff, all that restaurant waste. From industrial producers. I mean, the commercial, industrial, and institutional, hospital, nursing home, those are the places that we're getting significant amounts of waste that you can aggregate easily. So let's say, I know at my grandmother's nursing home, we would sit there and look at how many people got served food and it went away. They would serve them a whole plate of food, which we talked to them like, that's kind of ridiculous, she's smaller than me, she doesn't eat. She doesn't eat that much, but they would serve these huge plates of food, and then everything got thrown away. Well, put that all in a food waste bin instead of the trash, and that goes to the digester. Industrial would be like a Mars Corporation or Yoplait. They have liquid or solid waste, so that can go into the digester. Sporting events are definitely a big one.
How do you collect it?
It goes into sealed bins, and it's transferred in sealed bins. And I think that's another really important thing, because those here that deal with stormwater have all seen through the years the trash bin that kind of starts to leak a little bit down the street because there's more liquid than that solid bin can hold. And it goes right into our stormwater system and creates a whole nother problem for our environment. So these are sealed bins that are transferred, some of them on flatbeds, and there's a few different specialized trucks that tip it, hose it out, tip it back. It's kind of cool. It's very high tech and it's a little costly, but it's part of what we need to do it right.